Dear students, very good morning. Today we are going to discuss about OOPS concept, object oriented programming. Okay, so let's discuss one by one. In object oriented programming, we have nine important things. One is the classes, objects, encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance, dynamic binding, and message passing. These are the important thing in OOPS, object oriented programming. Okay, so let's discuss one by one. What is OOPS concept? The introduction is object oriented programming. As the name suggests, uses object in the programming. So now you have an question, what is object? So object oriented programming aims to implement real world entities like inheritance, hiding, polymorphism, etc. in the programming. The main aim of OOP, that is object oriented programming, is to bind together the data and the function that operate on them so that no other part of the code can access this except this data except the function. So, what are the characteristics of object oriented programming? So, these are the characteristics of object oriented programming: inheritance, encapsulation, object, class, abstraction, polymorphism. What is mean by class? Class is nothing but it is a building block of C++ that leads to an object-oriented programming. It is a user-defined data type. Class is nothing but a data type. It is defined by the user, which hold its own data members and member function, which can be accessed used by creating an instance of that class. A class is like a blueprint of an object. Consider the class of cars. There may be many cars with the different names and the brand, but all of them will share some common properties, like all of them will have four wheels, speed limit, mileage, range, etc. So here car is a class and wheels of speed, limit, mileage or their properties. A class is a user defined data type which has data members and data functions, member functions. Okay. So data members are the data variables and the member functions are the functions used to manipulate these variables, and together these data members and member function define the properties and the behavior of the object in the class. The above example of the class car, the data member will be speed limit. Okay, and functions increased. We can say that in C++, say that class in C++ is a blueprint representing a group of, it is a blueprint represent a group of object which shares a common name, properties and behavior. Next important thing in OOPS concept is object. Previously we discussed about class. Class is nothing but it is a blueprint. Object is an identifiable entity that with some characteristics and behavior. An object is an instance of a class. Okay, so when a class is defined, no memory is allocated, but when it is initiated, memory is object is created, memory is allocated. Okay, so it is a very important thing. Next one is the encapsulation. In normal terms, encapsulation is defined as wrapping up of the data and information under a single unit. In object oriented programming, encapsulation is defined as binding together the data and the function that manipulate them. Consider a real-time example of encapsulation in a company. There are different sections like account section, finance section, sales section, etc. The finance section handle all the financial transaction and keeps record of all the data related to the finance. Similarly, the sales section handle all the sales related activity and keep the records of the sales. Now, there may arise a situation when for some reason, an official form of the finance section needs all the data about sales in a particular month. In this case, he is not allowed to directly access the data of the sales section. So he will first have to contact some of the officer in the sales section and then request him to give the particular data. Here the data of the sales section and the employee that can manipulate them and are wrapped under a single name sales section. Okay, so encapsulation in C++ variables and method. It also leads to data abstraction or hiding. Also, as using encapsulation also hide the data. In the above example, the data of the section like sales, finance, accounts are hidden from any other section. Next important parameter is abstraction. Data abstraction is one of the most essential and important feature of the object-oriented programming in C++. Abstraction means displaying only essential information and hiding the uh, details. Data abstraction refers providing only essential information about the data to the outside world, hiding the background details or implementation. Consider a real life example of a man driving a car. The man only knows that representing the accelerator will increase the speed of the car or applying brakes will stop the car, but he does not know about the how on pressing accelerator the speed is actually increasing. He does not know about the inner mechanism of the car or implementation of the accelerator, brakes, etc. in the car. Abstraction using classes, abstraction using header file. We can implement abstraction in C++ using classes. This class help us to group data members and member function using available access specifiers. Abstraction in header file. One more type of abstraction in C++ can be header files. Okay. Polymorphism. The word polymorphism means having many forms. In simple words, we can define polymorphism as the ability of a message to be displayed in one form. More than one form. As a person at the same time can have a different characteristics, like a man at the same time is a father, husband, and employee. So the same person possesses different behavior in different situations. This is called a polymorphism. Okay. So C++ support operator overloading and function overloading, operation overloading and the function overloading. The process of making an operator to exhibit different behaviors in different instances is known as operator behavior. Functional overloading is using a single function name to perform a different types of tasks. Polymorphism is extensively used in implementing inheritance. Example, suppose we have to write a function to add more some integers. Sometimes there are two integers, sometimes there are three integers. We can write the addition method with the same name having different parameters. The concern method we called according to the parameters. So polymorphism, sum of 20 and 30, sum 2 equal to sum 20, 30 and 40. In sum written A plus B, in sum written A plus B plus C. Next important thing in OOPS concept is inheritance. So animal is a class. In animal we have a dog as one of the animal, cat as the one of the animal, and cow is the one of the animal. We have a three classes. Animal is the class. In subclasses is have dog, cat, and cow. Dynamic binding and message passing. Dynamic binding is the code to be executed in response to a function call is decided at runtime. C++ has a virtual function to support this dynamic binding. Message passing object communicate with one another by sending and receiving information to each other. A message for an object is a request for execution of a procedure, and therefore we will invoke a function in the receiving object that generate the desired result. So, guys, I hope you understand what is the importance of OOPS concept in C++. Okay, after that, what are the important OOPS concept we discussed? Then, what is mean by class and objects? Okay, so now it's the time for assessment. What is mean by OOPS? Object Oriented Programming System. Okay, object oriented programming system. What is an object? Object is nothing but instance. So what is class? Class is defined class is defined inside the object. Okay, so we have a class, object, abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance. These are the important parameters in the OPS concept. Okay, so thank you guys. I hope you understand the important concept of OOPS. Okay, so thank you all. Have a great day.